Hello there, this is Edward Ojambo. In this tutorial, we're going to git clone specific branches or the latest releases. Before we begin, quick reminder that every day I host a live stream. You visit ojambo.com, then you go to the watch menu, live sub menu, and you can see today's topic is effectively git clone specific branches or latest releases, the channel it's going to be on, and the day and time of the live stream. And these are topics here for post-dated live streams. Each of those articles is going to have a snippet of right at the top of it. It will tell you the exact day, the time. It's always going to be Eastern time. And you're free to ask any questions regarding programming or lifestyle topics. And this is the channel. So there's a link here. You click on it, then you log in and you'll be able to chat or post your requests live. If you don't want to do that, you can simply watch this video, or you can even watch it. It's embedded live on this article on ojambo.com. Also, be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more frequent content. Let's continue. So, one of the git commands is clone. So you can clone, but one of the problems with cloning is that you clone everything. You clone all the branches, and for example, if a project has been around for a very long time, you would get like gigs. Yes, you heard me right. Gigabytes of the entire project history. So you might only be interested in, for example, if you're downloading something, or if you're doing an update, all you care about is the latest release, obviously from the topmost branch, usually the master or the main branch. So I'm going to show you how you'll be able to do that. And also, if you do not want the Git repository, maybe just only want the files, I'll also show you how to do that today. So as I said before, the git clone command, it creates a full copy of the Git repository. It includes all the files, the history, and branches by default. So for example, if I clone something, in this here example, it's from GitHub, you see I'll clone literally everything. I'll give you a quick example of this. For example, I have a GitHub project here open up. It's from WordPress, and it's called Secure Custom Fields. So as you can see here, the default branch is the trunk. That's a public one, obviously. But the problem is, look how many branches it has. You see this? It has the trunk. It had this branch. You see this several. And that's not even all. There's even more. And obviously for each version, so there's a lot of branches. So I might, for example, if I wanted to look at this code, not necessarily as a contributor, but I just wanted to grab the latest version, I don't need all of this entire history. I just need the latest version. And there's also tags for, usually tags for releases. You can see like 6.41, 6.42, and 6.50. So if I only want, for example, this one, let's say I want this 6.42, or if I want 6.50, latest at this time of this recording, or maybe one of these beta releases, why do I need to copy, like grab everything? I don't need that. You see, it tells you here there's like 10 branches. So I don't need all of them. So you see there's actual 10 branches here. You see there's an experimental branch. So I might not need all this. I just want the latest branch. Now, if you know, you can also use another tool to get this, but we're going to use git clone for this. I'll show you. So for example, if I go to releases, or even here, the code, you see I can get this one here. It will give me just the, if I want to clone it, but we can download the zip, which you just have the latest, you see down here on the bottom left. If I pause, you see it will grab the heads trunk.zip file. But I'm saying is, what if they change the name? So that's not a good, way to get the latest on the top one. Even this one, maybe in the future they would have another, we could call it main, for example. So I'll show you how to take care of that. And for example, if you want to clone a specific branch, for example, let's say you want to clone in that project, the trunk, you can see you just type git clone -b and the actual one I want. So that will be trunk here. B stands for branch, for trunk, and then the URL to the GitHub repository. So that will get me the specific branch. And then, of course, you can also speed it up by using the depth, because even if it's the specific branch, that specific branch might have a lot of things all the way down to it will also have the history. So if I don't want that, I can use the depth. So you see, you can save disk space by using depth. So you get git clone hyphen depth, and then 1, and then space, and then the repository, the GitHub repository. Now this is not only for GitHub, but GitHub is an easy way so you guys can follow along. You can also use this for your own local or your own private repository without using GitHub or GitLab or any of those type of remote repository. You can have your own. And then of course you can combine both of them. Obviously you can combine both of them and for a specific branch. So again, you just add or append -b space and whatever the branch name is. So in this particular case for this project, that would be trunk. That's the latest one at the top, but you can grab any other ones you want. So I have all the code in here. If you want just to expand this, and you'll be able to clone, for example, for the latest release. And then if you want if you want to clone it without the history, you can do this as well. So Git is 100% open source. It's licensed under the GNU General Public License version 2, and obviously supported by the global community. So this allows you to inspect, modify, and contribute to its source code. I'm talking about Git itself, not just any public project. And Git also works locally without needing a cloud service. It's not tied to any one particular provider, like I already explained this, GitHub or GitLab. Okay, so if you want to have private Git tutorials, you can book them with me. I offer one-on-one private tutorials covering Git basics like clone, commit, push, and pull, branching strategies like the Git flow, trunk-based, GitHub/GitLab workflows, or any other. If you want to set up your own, you've seen me do that in previous tutorials of solving common merge conflicts, and this CI/CD, that's continuous development or integration with Git. Sessions are available remotely and tailored to your skill level. So you just contact me. You can click this link, or just simply go to ojamboservices.com and you can fill out the contact form. Okay, now I have some screenshots here. You can also clone in whatever editor you have. If you have an IDE, for example, like NetBeans IDE, or if you're using like some type of text editor like VS Code, that will also have it as well. And as you can see here, I'm able to clone and clone with the depth and the branch as well. And I also clone without using without the Git the Git folder, .git folder. You can also do that as well. And with that said, I show you also how a bonus. I'm going to show you how to clone the latest. You can get the latest tag as well. For this is for GitHub, but it will also work with others if you're using tags. Okay, with that said, let's get started. So remember, you can use any repository. I wanted a project repository. I chose this one specifically because it had multiple branches, but anyone which has multiple branches is fine. And obviously this is public, so this makes it easier for you guys to follow along and understand everything here. Okay, with that all said, let's get started here. So I've created a folder. I've created a folder here called git clone. It's empty. That's by design. And I'm going to open up the terminal. Of course, you can follow along in whatever IDE, but it's also a good idea to understand what's happening. I'm not saying you have to be a command line warrior, but if you understand it, I always find it's much easier to go on the command line because you can, unless you have an editor like Guinea where you can add your own or Vim or Emacs where you can add your own little snippets, I find it's just easier to go on the command line. Okay, with that said, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to clone that. We're going to clone the WordPress secure custom fields. So git clone -b and then trunk. Remember, the trunk is the actual branch that we want, and then the URL. So I'm going to copy the URL here just so I don't make a mistake. So I keep paste, and you can see here it's saying it's cloning the secure -custom -fields, and you see it's enumerating objects 365, and it's done. It's counting the objects 100%, 3653, and it's 1199, and it's compressing them, and it will be 606. And then after that, you see it grabbed all of them here. One of the good thing about Git is it automatically compresses, so you, even if the repository is, because the repository is just text files, it will compress it during when you do any of the Git commands. So you see it's done, and then you can see here it says secure secure hyphen custom fields, the folder. So if we go inside the folder here, if I enable the hidden folders, you're going to see there's going to be a .git folder in here. There's a .github as well, and .git, because it's from, you see there's a .git. Okay, so let me get out of this folder. Next, so if you know, even obviously I have a fast connection. However, if I said if this project was much larger, I would have, you know, even if it's just one branch, the branch might have a lot of history as well. So what you can also do is you can combine, you can speed up with, it's called a shallow clone. So you grab only the latest commit using the depth 1. So let's do that. Let me clear this out here. Oops, wrong place. So clear. So what we do there, we type git clone, then the depth 1 hyphen depth, the space 1, then the branch we want again. So we do want the trunk. Oops, trunk. And then I'm going to paste the URL again. And this is something else, another bonus thing you guys get. And you see after you put the URL or the source of the where you're going to clone from, you can also put it in a different folder. So you can actually change the name. So I'm going to change the name here, and I'm going to call it depth1. And you see what happens. Oops, I make a mistake here. Oh yeah, I made a mistake. There we go. After depth1, I forgot to put a space. And you see, look how much faster that is. You see that? Look how many objects you received compared to the other one. So if we go back up here, you see this time when I put depth1, it only enumerated 948. Before it was over 3,000. So this one is 948. And you see it counted all of them, those 948. And then when you compress them, even further less, 837. So you see the depth is very, very important. Now, as you can see, we only got the latest commit with everything, so we didn't get all the history, and that's exactly what usually you want to do as well. So you see, this is depth 1; it's much smaller. Obviously, it's also going to be. We can prove it here. I don't have to. If you guys can see that, I don't have to prove that there's less files, and there's obviously going to be less history as well. So you can compress. I said this is very useful if you have a very large project, or your project is very old and you have a lot of history. So that's how you can do it. Now, you can also clone without the Git history. So I'm going to show you how you can clone without the Git history. So this is actually pretty, I'm sure some of you guys have figured this out, but it's pretty straightforward. So let me clear the command line here. So it's git clone. Then I'll put the depth 1 again, and -b. I'm going to get the trunk, and then I'm going to paste in the URL again from GitHub, or it can be any source. Okay, and then after that, I'm going to call it no git. So it's going to put in a folder called no git, and you can see it just finished. And it has no git here. So what I'm going to do is, then all you have to do is just remove the folder. You see, that's that simple. Nothing complicated. So no git /.git. See, it's been removed. So if we go into the no git here, I'm going to display all the hidden files. I think I do have it on. You see there's a .github, but there's not, the .git is gone now, so that's another way. So now the file size, the the amount of files is actually even less now because the Git folder is no longer there. Okay, so one more. So if you want to get the latest release from a tag, so this one I'm going to use some command line. Let me clear the, oops, let me clear the command line here as well. So I am going to grab the latest release and I'll show you how you get the name of the latest release. I'm going to use bash here, bash. So I put it in a variable. I'm going to use curl. So it's going to use the api.github.com/repos and whatever the username is. And obviously this is going to be WordPress will be the username, the repo, the releases and latest. And then it will, I'm going to pipe it into the grep command and get the tag name, and I'll cut it and I'll get the just the release name. So I'll show you this first. I'll show you, for example, we'll just run the command without, you see, if you use the API, I'll just paste the API and you see it will give us a bunch of stuff. You see, it gives us JSON. So you see, it gives us a JSON object. It gives us all this information. For example, it tells us the, you see all this information here? It gives us the URL. And you see there's the releases, then it has a number here, the release number. And then it has an upload URL, has an HTML URL. And you see the tag, it says tag is 6.50. And then you see it has an ID. And then it has the author, which is CBRAVOBER. Now I don't even know how to pronounce that. There's a known ID, the person's avatar, gravatar, URL. So they are a GitHub member. You see the URL here. You can get them where you can follow them. You see that gives us a whole bunch of stuff. And then the tag name. See this right here? It says tag name 6.5.0. So this is what we want. Okay, so this is why we need to pipe it into grep, and we look for tag name, and then I'll show you this as well. So I'm going to pipe it into grep. So let me clear this. So you see I've piped it into the grep, and you see it gives us the tag name 6.5.0. That's what, now we're going to cut it. We're going to use a cut. We're going to pipe that into the cut command and only get this part here. So I'll explain that as well. So let's do this. So you see, I'll explain what the cut does. What cut does is you cut things off by columns. So what this is going to do is cut. This is the delimiter, -d is for the delimiter. And it's going to look for this double quotes, because what we want is inside double quotes. So what it will do to look for double quotes. But however, if you notice here, there's a double quote right at the beginning, and then where it says then tag -name, and then there's another double quote here, another double quote here, another double quote here. So I'm sure you guys can figure this out by now. So the delimiter we're going to look for is the double quotes, and then we use -f, and then the number 4. So what does -f stand for? So what that means is that it's going to count how many of this double quotes we have. So you see it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So what it will do is it will go here, and then it will grab everything in between those double quotes. So that means it's going to grab this part only, and that's what we're able to get here, 6.5.0. That's the easiest way to explain it. Okay, so now I said I'm going to put this into a variable, and then I'll just clone that, and I'm going to call it latest. So if I paste this in here, and you see it's it grabbed the latest version, and you see it says here latest. And then when you do this, because I am what I'm doing is, you see it received the deltas because we don't want everything as well. So there's a little note or message. It says you're in detached head state. You can look around and make experimental changes and commit them, or you can discard any commits and make this state without impacting any branches and switching back to a branch. So in my particular case, I only want to get the latest code. I'm not too particular interested in this. I just want to take a look at it. So you can tell you, see, it says you can switch, you can create a new branch. So if I wanted to, I could create a new branch right from the latest code. So this is also useful because sometimes, let's say a developer or a programmer, whoever, is maybe going on vacation. Maybe it's mat leave or they're gonna take their vacation. So if you're hired, even just temporarily, you want to get up to speed with the code, right? So instead of looking through the entire history, let's say you're familiar with it, like say WordPress. If you've developed on WordPress for a while, you pretty much, for example, like a theme, you don't need to see the entire history. You just want to get the latest and get started from there. So this is how you would get it. For example, if you want to just whip out, let's say it's a website, you want to use that latest theme. So let's, I'll use an example. It's a WordPress theme. So this is how you'll be able to get the latest one, and you can simply run it there, and then you can start making your own changes. So that's how you do it. And you see, you can also do stuff like this, like advise detached head to false. I'm not going to do that because this will be useful just as a reminder. So I'm going to leave that as is. Now, you can see here we have all this were done by Git clones. So we were able to just do a simple Git clone for a specific branch. We were able to get the latest. We're able to get the depth one, and we're able to remove the Git folder. So that's how we were able to do that. All that today. So and for example, like the Git to remove the Git folder, it's just go and delete it. It's that simple. But if you search online, people will just go into all this very complex things. Oh, do this, do that. Yeah, just remove it. It's that simple, right? Yeah, keep things simple, man. Don't make things so complicated for anything. Okay, so with that said, that's the end of this part of the tutorial. I've shown you guys how to clone, and you guys can now be expert clones. You can be expert at Git cloning. It's that simple. Okay, let's finish this up. So this is the repository I used. I said you can find any repository to test. Just make sure it has branches, so you can test on different branches. So for example, if I want to test on this branch or this branch or this branch, I could have tested on all of them. Or tags. You see, I showed you how to grab specific branches. Like for example, we're using the trunk. You can also do you can also get the tag. So if you have a branch like this one here, for example, this one says add new hooks. Let's click on that. And then if you go to get code, it actually doesn't tell you here, but what you would do is the branch name would be here. It would just be add/new hooks, new-hyphen hooks. So let's go back to the trunk. That's the default one, and that's the easiest one to get. And there's also tags, as you saw. There's branches, and there's 8 tags. So you can also get specific tags. But what I was saying is that unless you know the exact tag you want, if you want to get the latest one, you see 6.50 at time of this recording. I just showed you how to do it on the command line. Okay, so let's finish up here. So with just a few flags, Git clone becomes a powerful tool for faster workflows and more precise development. Try out these tips and consider exploring Git beyond the basics. Don't forget to comment and reach out if you want personalized help. And also a quick reminder that every day I host a live stream. You visit ojambo.com, you go to the watch menu, live sub menu, you can see the topics for each live stream. There's always going to be the channel they're going to be on and the day and time. So it's always Eastern, as I mentioned earlier. Also be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and comment for more frequent content. And with that, I don't see any chat requests, so I'm going to end this live stream, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Oh, be sure to subscribe. That helps a lot. Thanks. See you.